So what I would like to do is again, I like to try and like share some similar mental models or a mental picture that we can all kind of then use to move forward with. And so how do we decomplicate discipline agile, or is it even possible to do that? So, well, let's use a common situation, right? So here's one, right? Relatively small team, 13 people. It's a team that's enhancing an existing product. So they're not doing innovation work with respect to something like a minimum viable product, right? Where again, we're exploring hypothesis testing, hypothesis, like can we productize something? Can we monetize it? This is, again, pretty common, right? We've got digital products and, we've got teams that enhance existing products. Waterfall, and I've got waterfall in quotes because sometimes, in some of the live stream discussions I've been a part of, I'll hear, well, there's really no such thing as real waterfall. It's never a complete handoff. So waterfall, predictive, traditional, hybrid, right, that's what this team would be doing, right? So some people might have a little knowledge, a little experience of what an agile way of working is. But for the most part, we're going to be moving away from that and into at least a agile way of working. Don't know really where to begin, and don't have an embedded coach nor sort of regular access to a coach. So again, maybe at the organization they've got like an agile COE, or there's coaches around. We just don't have the level of support, the level of sort of interaction we might need. So what do we do? And I'm gonna flip back for a second. Do we just say we'll go here and explore this? Well, that is one strategy. I mean, you can have some amount of training. You can go and start taking a look using the web browser tool. But what I'm also going to say is that there are other strategies, and this is just one strategy, and this is one that the company that I work for, we've been helping organizations get the benefit of Discipline Agile since it was initially released. So we've got, just with DA now, about a decade's worth of experience. So now if I were coaching this team, right, what are some of the choices I would guide them to? I'd probably guide them, more than likely, maybe not always, but more than likely, towards the Agile life cycle. So it's very similar to Scrum with some differences, but it's an iterative-based approach. And oftentimes it'll provide sort of like the guardrails. I don't want to say training wheels, but it's kind of what it is. It's like, well, let's have a defined time box that we can commit to doing some work, right? A small batch of work. And are we getting it done or not, right? Are we actually doing a real agile way of working? And I don't mean a platinum level of agile way of working. It's more like the tinfoil. Are we at least getting a lot of the benefits, like quick feedback, right? High level of collaboration that we should with an agile way of working. So this is a quick start. So we've got a number of these. So this is a relatively small team, and it's a team that's using a waterfall approach. It's a team that's supporting a product. It's a product that's already in existence, and we also have quick starts if you're in a similar situation, but now you're having to support multiple work items at the same time. So multiple projects. Sometimes that can also mean multiple products. So we have stuff for maintenance. We have stuff for teams that aren't doing IT type of work, right? Not software. People that are working in other areas of the organization, or even for physical product development. But for this quick start, this particular scenario, right? And I know that the process goal diagrams are way too small, but this is the equivalent of giving you a one-speed bike with just a rear brake, right? There are 67 options to choose from. And if I were to just kind of now compare, right, above and below, you can see it's not even all the process goals. Because if you're already supporting a product, right, there are things you're already doing. These 67, just like the other quantity of options that are in all the other quick starts, the other scenarios that we've got, are selected for very specific reasons, right? They're one of the things is that it's how do you move from your existing way of working to an agile or lean way of working, right? The agile life cycle or the lean life cycle in DA. Well, these are the things that definitely are going to need to change. I mean, if you're doing more of that big phase, like big requirements up front, and then you know the next big phase is development, and then then it gets handed off to testing, and then it gets handed off for UAT, right? So within respect to that, now you're saying, well, we're going to take an agile way of working, and we're going to identify like really small requirements, right? Stories, and as soon as we start implementing that story, I mean, within a day or within a few days, that story is going to be considered done, which means the development has been done, or if you're configuring a package application, there's going to be some level of QA that's been done. Then the role of the product owner is going to verify, right, validate that the acceptance criteria has been met, hopefully using a lot of the same testing assets. Well, I mean, to do that and to do that really early in your project lifecycle, your environment's got to be set up, your tooling and stuff has to be set up, access, test data, all things that you might have had months, if not many, many months to do. Now we need to do up front. So that's a lot of what we do with these quick starts, is we identify not only really high impact practices, but we identify the more significant things that are going to need to change.